All right, we've got a number of people joining, and I'm sure we'll have some others join us as we get started here. Welcome, everybody. This is our Ohio User Group for Adobe Workfront, our July 2026 Roundtable. This is our new monthly virtual series where we just get together and have a really good conversation around some topics that are on everyone's mind. Let us know in the chat if you have any technology issues. If you're not speaking, please mute your microphones to reduce any background noise. And please utilize that chat function for any questions or comments, and we'll make sure that we address those in a timely manner as best we can. We'll do some upfront housekeeping introductions, kind of a recap of our last session together, and then we'll dive into today's big topics, which are the MPC server and our AI capabilities in Workfront. So welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. I notice this meeting is being recorded. If you do not wish to participate in a live recorded session, this meeting will be posted in our YouTube channel later on this week, and you'll be happy to watch it there. House rules, please no self-promotion or pitching of any kind. We ask that you don't contact people outside of the user group without their consent. And if members share their use case at a meeting, don't share that information without their consent. And please stay connected with our chapter. We regularly post new events, especially now that we're monthly. And unless you join our chapter, you will not automatically receive those notifications and reminders. So please, you do not have to live in Ohio. You do not have to live on the eastern side of the United States. In fact, you don't even have to be in the United States to join our chapter. We welcome anybody and everybody that finds interest to the things that we're talking about to join us. Quick round of introductions. We have three co-hosts, or three co-leaders for this user group. I'm Ross Barton. I'm an Associate Vice President of Project Management at Ology, which is a marketing and branding agency here in Columbus, Ohio. I've been our system administrator for over 5 years, both on the Workfront and Fusion development side. In the current class of the Workfront Champions, and have 4 certifications. There are links to both our LinkedIn and Experience League profiles on these pages. This link will also be posted this deck will also be posted in Experience League, and you should receive a reminder email with a link to that after today's meeting. I'll go ahead and hand it over to one of my other co-hosts to introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. Good morning and happy Monday. Thank you for spending your lunch with us. My name is Nuria Munguia. I lead the Adobe Workfront practice for the US for TD Bank. I've been a system admin. Currently, I'm a product owner, technology owner, people manager. So you can do it all, people. This space, we meant it for you, especially for the system admin who gets to wear multiple hats. This is your community. Come with questions. We want to have this space just for you. So welcome, everybody, and I'll pass it on to you, Denver.
Hey, I'll be quick. Hey, everyone, again. A lot of familiar faces. I work at CrowdStrike, Workfront system administrator, but really in the marketing operations world. So all the various systems, whether it be event platforms like Zoom or helping connect them all to Salesforce. But excited to have some conversations, learn more from other people, how they use Workfront and other systems.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Just a quick survey of where everybody's joining from. This was part of the survey that you took when you registered. We were just always curious about where people are joining from. As you can see, we have representation from all across the country, and we did have one respondent from London on there. Looking at the roles of the people that are on this call, majority of us fall in that system admin role, but also there's end users and leadership and decision makers, and also Fusion developers. So a well-rounded group here of people. So our group now has 82 members. I can't believe since June 1st, we have had 23 new people join us. So thank you guys so much for showing all of the interest in this group. This is a list of the people that have joined since our last meeting on June 1st. If any of you are on this call, we would encourage you to come off camera, come off mute, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what company you're at and what role you're in, where you're located. And we always like to talk about food, at least I do. So tell us about your favorite food.
Don't be shy. We won't bite. That is a couple of you.
I know I'm on the list. My name's Monica DiBartolo. I work at Moore. I'm located in the Maryland area, but I'm also part of the Maryland WUG group.
Okay.
My favorite food, I love all kinds of food, but I just had hibachi and sushi last night. So
Ooh, very nice.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Alyssa Waldheim. I am also at Moore with Monica, and I'm based in DC. And I truly don't know that I could pick a favorite food. I have been eating a lot of ice cream this summer, though, so I'll just go with
Nice.
We just got a Ninja Creamy and it has been life-changing.
I keep getting served ads for those, so I might have to purchase.
Who has them on sale, just so you know.
I can jump in. I'm Nicole Lentini. I work at Ology with Ross and Kaylee and Ryan, also on this list. I am Associate Client Engagement Director, and I'm located in Chicago, Illinois. My Workfront role, I guess, is best described as an end user, sometimes power user when I need to be. And my favorite food, I would have to say, is buffalo chicken. I just love buffalo chicken tenders.
Delicious.
Delicious, yes.
Thank you.
Hello, I can go next. I'm Kendra Patrick, and I'm an Ohioan, so I am between Dayton and Cincinnati in Middletown, Ohio, so it's literally in the middle. So I am a process manager for Informatech Target. And let's see, my Workfront experience, so I've used it as an end user, and now I'm on the other side. So very hands-on. This is a new product for the team that I'm on. And it's been a lot of hitting the ground running and learning on the fly, I will say, learning Fusion especially. So yeah, a lot of good stuff there. My favorite food, I'm very plain, but like any type of potato, like potatoes, you can make them in so many ways. I love potato chips. I love French fries. I love all the potatoes. So very basic, but that's a little about me.
Love that.
Thank you. Welcome. And welcome to the other side.
Yes. You are amongst your people.
I'll go. My name is Frank Yeager, and I am from Huntington Bank. I work out of our Beechwood, Ohio office, and I'm a marketing operations manager and Workfront administrator. Also have started to work on Fusion development as well. I've been a Workfront administrator since 2015 at a couple different organizations, so I have been using it for quite a while. And then my food also is sushi. So I just actually had it over the weekend, and anytime I have a chance, I love to eat sushi. So
Awesome.
Nice. Welcome.
thank you.
Hello, I'm James Hart. I'm the marketing and technology lead for Eaton, based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but our headquarters is in Cleveland or Beechwood area. So definitely affiliated with the Ohio group. My Workfront role is kind of admin. So as a MarTech lead, responsible for all the tools, but helping figure out what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and how to make Workfront better and do what we need to with our platform. We just launched this year, so a lot of learning to do. Favorite food, having curry for lunch, so definitely enjoy that. Have a creamy. We play around with the creamy all the time, so yes, can also vouch for that and go get one if you don't have one.
Nice.
If we could only mash potatoes and the creamy together, I don't know. Thinking over here. Kind of gross at first, but there's got to be something there.
Wow, what a great group.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Christina.
I'm Christina. I'm from Rhode Island, right on the Mass border. I am the sysadmin for TJX, and I've been a sysadmin for the past 7+ years. I would say my favorite food, like a typical New Englander, is seafood and an Italian, since we are so close to the ocean. But happy to be here.
Welcome. All right.
Thank you, guys. It's nice to meet you guys, and we're glad you're here. Just a quick recap of what we covered last month. We had about 18 people join our call. There is a link in this deck to the recording and also to the recap that was posted on Experience League. We tackled 5 big topics of the list that was of many things. We had a really good conversation around display logic on the intake forms and learned that when you move components around, it breaks the logic sometimes. So there's a method to the madness of how to edit your custom forms to ensure that the display logic is not messed up. We talked about the connection between ServiceNow and Workfront. We talked about adoption for skipped projects and some different ways to tackle that. We had a great conversation about who finished the task and how to turn on some task status and assignment events and that update feed, and running some reports and do some custom reporting there. And then we started a good conversation around native AI versus the external Gen AI, and what that looks like. So some really good conversation was had in that hour that we had together. So I would encourage you, if you missed that or if some of these things are of interest, take a dive into that Experience League and the notes that were there. Diving right into our main topic for today is our demo of the MPC server, and then a quick overview of our current Workfront AI capabilities. David Kershaw had raised his hand or offered to do a demo and to go over these capabilities in our last meeting. So we reached out to him and coordinated this. He'll spend about 15-20 minutes, I believe, going through this. And then we will dive into some of the questions that you guys submitted when you registered for today's events. And my goodness, there were some really good topics in here. There's 36 ideas submitted. We will not get to all of these. We've grouped them into topics, as you can see: peer experiences, basic functionality around Workfront Core, AI and emerging topics, Fusion automation, reporting, highlighting some wins, and just general personal learning. So we'll try to get through at least one in all of the buckets if as much as we can. And then as co-leaders, we decided that we're going to start cataloging these for the things that we didn't get through. And we'll talk about some of the channels where we can continue the conversation after today's meeting. But I'll pause here and stop sharing my screen and hand the meeting over to David.
Okay, thank you, Ross. I'm just going to share my screen here. One moment. Okay, everyone can see my slide deck here. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I'm new to the group, like a lot of the people that were just speaking. So it's great to be presenting to all of you today on such an interesting topic as the MCP server. Yeah, let's get right into it. So what to expect? What are we going to talk about here? I've got maybe about 10 slides and a demo of the MCP server, so we can actually see it in action. Totally okay if you don't know what MCP is. I didn't know until too recently as well. It's a very new thing. So the baseline here is that you have no idea what it is, no idea what MCP is, never heard of it. never even used AI, honestly. We're going to start right from the beginning and hopefully get something that is useful to everyone on the call. Personally, I'm the owner of a company called Techmera. It's a small boutique consulting company, mostly myself, but I've expanded out this year a little bit. We do I've done 15 years of enterprise architecture, software development, and been in the Adobe space since 2017, primarily as a Workfront API Fusion automation developer. I came in from a software development background and then learned like Workfront and Fusion after that. So I come from a little bit a different spot than many people, but yeah, have been in the space since 2017. I also own a Ninja Creamy. My family loves it. I have a 12-year-old daughter, 10-year-old son. They make their own ice cream. I think we made a chocolate peanut butter. My daughter turned 13 this weekend. We made a chocolate peanut butter, so I can share the recipe out maybe after. And yeah, and again, this is for everyone, right? This is meant to be for people, the most new people who've never heard of MCP. We're going to go over it from scratch. I also love potatoes too. And if I didn't mention, I'm from East Coast Canada. So I'm the one, Fredericton, New Brunswick on the map previously. Okay, lots going on in AI. I don't know about everyone else. I feel overwhelmed by just constant news articles. And I try to stay on top of it, but I still feel overwhelmed completely. So it's okay if you feel overwhelmed. I think that's the natural place to feel. Everyone feels overwhelmed. So just to get that out there. Even this slide is overwhelming for me. And this doesn't cover a lot of things. This is what's GA out there working. It's no roadmap, stuff. So this is just wanted to focus on what's working. If you're interested in like the roadmap that's coming, I recommend the summit videos. They're really good. Kind of what's the long-term roadmap, and then maybe we can have a follow-up or something in some time and cover the next generation of things that are coming out. But I did want to focus just on what's out there already. So 3 main paradigms that are out there working today. One is the AI assistant. So AI assistant, and I'm going to just pretend that no one's ever used it or anything. So we'll just start from the very beginning. AI assistant is like if you've ever visited a website and you get that chat window at the bottom saying, how can I help you? It used to be a real person. Now a lot of them are using AI to help. That's kind of the same idea as this. It's an in Workfront chatbot that you can talk to. It's really good for like summarizing what's on the current page, asking what, it's really good with documentation and things like that. So asking like, how do I do this? How do I do that? What's the right setting for this? Sometimes I don't know like what setting to use and it will tell me. Great at calculated fields, better than the models like ChatGPT and Claude and all that. Workfront is better at the calculated fields because it doesn't hallucinate. It doesn't make things up. I find a lot of the baseline models make things up. So it's a great assistant just for like your average person, just asking average questions about Workfront, not meant to be like a large infrastructure scale type thing, just a assistant. Next is the AI collaborator. Be curious if anyone's tried this or used it. It's fairly new. But what this is, it's completely different than the assistant. You can think of it as almost a replacement for a very particular job that you might have in Workfront. So the one that they have today, generally available as of now, is the content reviewer. So if someone in your organization has the role of looking at content before it goes out to make sure it adheres to brand guidelines, or the copy is right and meets certain criteria, you think someone's job is to review that and make sure that, okay, here are the guidelines, here's what we can have and what we shouldn't have. That is a job that AI can do pretty well. It's been doing that pretty well for some time now. So think of the content reviewer as an embeddable agent in a workflow that you can set up to do that. So you think of an approval workflow, you have a content reviewer on that workflow, the document gets uploaded, proof gets created, the content reviewer would be able to chime in and say, yeah, this meets brand guidelines or it doesn't. and say a little bit about that. So that's the framework that is being built by Workfront to embed different types of these collaborators into your workflows. So right now it's content reviewer, but you know, and on the roadmap, very, very soon to happen, will be agents for things like project management or external agents of things that may be specific to your company. So it's an embeddable AI collaborator. And I think this would be a good demo maybe in a couple of months' time. If someone wants to volunteer to do that, I think that would be great to see. But getting to the main event, the Workfront MCP server. This is, again, another paradigm. MCP, I will get into what that is here in a moment, but this is just a way for you to talk to your Workfront instance through your AI apps that you're used to. So I think most people at this point have tried ChatGPT, whether it's like in the browser or an app, and you talk to it and it gives you answers back. Workfront MCP is a way to do that, but also ask questions of your Workfront instance. For example, like, what are my open tasks for the day? Connecting your, you know, your ChatGPT instance, Claude instance, or whatever else to your Workfront backend, so you can use the context of your Workfront environment within your AI sessions. Just the way you do it today. I don't know if other people like have connected email. Some people connect to like a to-do list. It's the same thing. We're connecting Workfront and being able to ask Workfront questions. And that's what the demo will be here shortly. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, this is the question for all the very beginners. You know, I've never heard of MCP. What is it? Why? Okay, so what is MCP? MCP, don't feel bad if you don't know what it is. It was only created in 2024, so it's super new. It's just a way for your data, like your ChatGPTs, your Claude, your applications, to be able to talk to external systems. So why would anyone do this? It's to connect your Gmail. So if you wanted to work within ChatGPT and you want to connect your email, let's say, you can talk to, say, like, what emails do I have to respond to today? That's what MCP is for. So within Workfront, you could ask it things like, what tasks do I have today? It's able to bring that context into your chat sessions so you can work with it. So specifically, and honestly, you don't have to know anything more than that. Most people, you don't have to know how it works under the scene. Like, you just literally connect it to ChatGPT, Claude, and you're off to the races. There's no need for most people to understand more than what I just explained. What is the Workfront MCP? Well, it's a way to talk to Workfront, like I suggested, through natural language prompts that query your Workfront instance. So if you've used Fusion, you've used the Workfront API, there's a very specialized way you have to talk to Workfront API and backends to get information you need. MCP makes that available through like a human language, natural language prompting. So you can just ask English questions, native language questions to your Workfront instance and get answers back. Lots of use cases. I'd love to hear, start thinking of some use cases. Maybe if you could just talk to your Workfront instance and ask it questions. So what kind of questions would you ask, and how would that help your productivity? I've got some examples that'll show, but I'd like to hear from everybody. Super quick on this, because again, you don't have to know, but these are the kind of tools that come with the MCP. So think of the MCP as a toolbox. And this is what your AI agents are using, your AI workspaces are using these tools to talk to Workfront. So we can go through like approvals and approval workflows. We can ask questions of planning workspaces, record types, things like that, search over planning, and then workflow. This is the core engine of the thing. We can search Workfront objects, create, update, delete, basically work with most object types within Workfront. Some are on the roadmap coming. I know documents is one that's coming shortly, being able to query documents and document metadata. But for the most part, all of this is, this covers a huge variety of tools across your Workfront instance. And this, you don't have to know this tool set, because your AI apps will use this tool set automatically. And I'll show you that here in 1 second. So I will stop sharing this screen. I'm going to share my AI screen, I'll call it. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. So we'll move to the demo. Okay, so don't let this screen scare you. this is my AI workspace. This is just, I use a Mac. I use Claude from the terminal. So a lot of times people use ChatGPT from the browser or the application or even your phone. I use it from the terminal just because I use it all the time, and this is the fastest way for me to use it, and it's a good way to demo it. So this is just a terminal window, and I'm connected to the MCP here. So I'll show you an example of what I can do. So this is where I prompt, right? So I can say, let's just go with the one simple prompt here. Let's just ask, are we connected? Or are we connected to Workfront MCP? And this is where the demo takes some time because, you know, it's not super quick to respond to you. So I'm going to keep this part as light as possible. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask them in the chat. I can kind of look as it's thinking here, but we can look at the results here and talk about it as it goes. So yeah, it says it's connected to Workfront. So this would be the same as if you're in ChatGPT, if you're in Claude apps or anything like this. It's going to say, yes, it's connected as me. So let's ask it a question. So I set up a portfolio before this call to help with the demo. So I'm just going to copy in a prompt and see if it can find my portfolio. So again, this is just literally connected through the MCP, which I pre-authorized before this call, and connected to my Workfront instance. You can see here, it's calling the Adobe Workfront using that tool set, right, that we looked at. And we can see exactly what it does here once it's done. So it can say, yes, it saw the portfolio test. It has its ID, want me to pull the details. Let's just ask it one more question. How many projects are in the portfolio and what are the statuses / deadlines? While we're doing this, I just want to show you kind of what the MCP server is doing in the background. So you can see here it says it called Adobe Workfront 2 times. We can click on that, and this is crazy. Don't expect to like read this, but it shows you like exactly what it's doing, and it's like sending the context. So you can see exactly, if you're interested, exactly what it's doing under the hood. But it's a lot of you know, just context and usage rules and things like that. So if you're curious, you can click on it and see what it's doing under the hood. Yeah, great question. How do you manage token usage? I'm on the max plans, so for now, I'm able to not worry about it too much. But I think, yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind, token usage. I'll show you a good use of that on the next demo. So here we've got the portfolio contains 4 projects, sorted by deadline. So it's pulling real projects, pulling real statuses, real dates. These are all legit. It's 4 projects. And from here, you can imagine what you could do, right? So I'm going to show you one thing that I did just as a demo, but here you could say, like, I know for a fact that this one is awaiting my approval, this winter limited edition launch. So I could say something like, hey, can you approve this? It's awaiting my approval. Yep, it will just go and do it. One thing I do want to show, I think it's a pretty neat demo, is this is a large prompt. So just bear with me for a second. I'm going to copy paste it, and I won't read the whole thing. But this is something you could build in if you're interested in. This is an example of a workflow. Maybe it's not the best example, but it's one that I could think of. Basically saying, can you give me a quarterly report, like leadership executive ready quarterly report on this portfolio? It is something that I can imagine someone asking for, like, where is the status of this whole thing? Can we just have a one-pager to describe where things are at? What are the risks? What are the, you know, the deadlines, important dates? So this takes maybe like 5 minutes and a lot of tokens, but I do have an example of what this creates on a different screen. So let me just share that. See if I can find it. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just going to try to open it up. try to share again. Here it is. Okay. So this was pulled completely from the MCP server. So I asked it to create a executive leadership report for this portfolio, sample portfolio. Just wanted to see what it could do, but it was able to pull a executive summary based on the descriptions of the projects, note the risks, do a nice visual summary. I didn't create any of this visualization. This is all based off Claude and plugins, visualization plugins. Has things like, okay, grouped by statuses. I didn't ask it to do any of this. Again, just said pull up statuses. It was able to pull a table up, with the planned finish dates. What are the wins? Okay, this was delivered. This is underway. What are the critical risks? Flagging that this is awaiting approval. Recommended actions, at risk. Lots of information here. Where leadership input is needed. This would all require human review, but this is the type of chaining of things that you can use the MCP for. So if you've got a pre-baked report, you can just say MCP, fill out the report, and so it's ready to send. And this is done maybe in about 5 minutes. I'll share the rest of my slides. Almost done. Thank you for bearing with me through a very fast demo. Again, I'm going to go quick here because I know I'm almost out of time. I was trying to think of use cases. Like, this unlocks so much. I think it'll be interesting to see where this all could, where we could go with this, because it's so much potential uses. But I've used it to do like a template governance type thing, where it said, show me the active project templates and which haven't been used. And it was able to generate that image here on the right-hand side. I see a lot of people asking for, like, how do I get a PDF from just a one-pager on a campaign into submitted as a request in Workfront? MCP server could definitely help you with that. If you're an individual, show me my tasks. I can work through with my AI apps to work through these tasks without even logging into Workfront. You notice I didn't even log in here. And then planning, lots of potential use cases with planning. Just really quick, one thing on this slide. If you're at all in automation and using Fusion, I think what you've seen is the general way to use Fusion is to create a service account. Those service accounts are great. They do a lot of things, but they do everything on behalf of the service account. So you might see, like, oh, the Fusion automation account updated your status to complete. So it's always done by this automation bot. What I like about the MCP is it's done on behalf of the users using the MCP. So even if it's automated and you're doing the automation, it shows up as you in Workfront. It shows up as you, the person, not a service account. So I do like that. That's a little bit better governance on the governance side. Last slide. I'd love to hear what people think this opens up. I think it opens up quite a bit. A lot in the AI space where you can get, like, agentic workflows, multi-system workflows. Maybe you've got like a Salesforce instance and a Workfront instance, and you want to do things between the two. You can imagine that connecting MCPs to both, having AI agents in the middle, it opens up a lot here. And Workfront as a source for other agents, right? Maybe another agent wants to pull from Workfront to get a project status for some other use case. You can just imagine what this opens up for Workfront and for Adobe. Things to watch. Definitely want to audit with your security team before turning this on. It is sharing data with these models that you're using. So make sure that you cover your butt from a security point of view before turning this on and using it, and know what data you're sharing with these LLMs. And last thing is verify the results. So it's still potentially not, when you're working with AI in general, you always want to check the results, make sure it's valid, it didn't make anything up or guess at anything. Just a quick, run through and make sure things look good. But from what I've seen, it's been very accurate and tends to work quite well and not, do too many hallucinations or things like that. So that's it. I thought for homework, maybe just try to think of a use case you could use and share it with the group on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear use cases. I try to think of some, but I think you guys do all the work, and I'm just doing all the automation. So I'd love to hear some real use cases you can think of. And yeah, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn as well, there's my LinkedIn. I'd love to connect and continue the conversation. But yeah, that's it. Thanks again, Ross and Nuria and Denver, for allowing me to share this.
Oh, you're not off the hook yet. You're not off the hook yet. We have some questions.
I gotta go. No. I'm good.
We have some wonderful questions. If you can take a look at the chat.
Yes.
The first one from Monica says, could this be used to identify trending bottlenecks across all projects within a time frame? And then we have more questions.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, I think so. It depends on how you would identify the bottlenecks, trending bottlenecks. How would most people identify that without AI? That's what I always like to think. How would you do it without AI? And then AI could probably do it, I would think. Yeah.
We're currently doing it from somewhat of a manual process where our team is doing like a post-mortem and just flagging different reasons why things got delayed. But I think it's really about tasks that are late and how long are they late, and is it something that's repeatable and trending?
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's great because I find with a lot of this, so I'm again a software developer, a lot of what we're doing with AI is trying to identify the processes that already work in your organizations, and then how do you make them better with AI? So it sounds like you've got a really good process for like a post-mortem process, right? So first thing I would do would be, how do I get an AI agent to contribute to that post-mortem? So you're still doing it. You're all still humans. We're all still human, but we're bringing in maybe a new person, the AI agent, to have their own opinion on why things may have gone off the rails. And then that would just be experimenting with the MCP to say, can you maybe look at this project, identify what could have gone wrong with it? I don't like to feed it too much. Like, I don't like to say, like, look at the tasks, look at the statuses. I like to just give an overall, can you try to figure it out? And then I see where it hit and miss. And then I can work on the prompt to get it better. So on the one I showed you with that report, it wasn't finding that I was blocking an approval until I fixed my prompt to say, make sure you look to see if there are any blocking approvals, and then it would pick it up. So sometimes it doesn't know what to look for without your prompting. So I would say, long answer to that, try to think about how you find bottlenecks and how you would do it, and then draft your prompt and then use that prompt as MCP input, and then get it to maybe create a one-pager that you present at your postmortem to say, this is what the AI found. Does this make any sense? And as a starting point, then you can build on top of that and do more automation. But I think that's a good starting point.
I wanted to add on to that. So we got it turned on last week, and I have been so excited with all the possibilities. And to your point, if I was looking for something that was a blocker, I think maybe if you had a system of issues and it's looking at a project and what are the type of issues that are popping up, and if there are approvals that aren't moving forward, those are also blockers. And yeah, how would a machine read the steps in there and identify that there are blockers? You'll probably need to put together a skill or prompt together that says, look for these type of things. These are the things that clue me into that there's a problem with the project.
That's a great point. That's good. You saw the toolbox that I presented, and it has things like search, create, but it doesn't have like any things like, this is where typically issues are found. Like, that's not a toolbox, but that's a skill that most people on this call, I think, would have, right? Like, why does a project go sideways? There's no toolbox for that. So that's where our skill comes in, I think, to say, these are the things to look for in a project, in a task, in an issue. Look at the comments. Look if there's any like long comment chains, the things that you would look as a person. and say, hey, that's kind of a red flag, that's a red flag. Yeah, and then build that skill. Yeah, that's a great point. What were some other questions? We had lots of questions. Okay.
Yes. The one from Allison Barroca. Is this only available for certain Workfront workflow instances, or can anyone with any form of Workfront use this?
I think it's for anyone as long as you have the license. I'm not the expert at the licensing, but I think if you're licensed to use AI, it was turned on last month.
Yeah, Allison, I will reach out to your CSM and just double check, just in case. Next one, go ahead.
Not sandbox only. This is definitely a live instance tool. And I think there's a new release coming this month on it with more tools. So it's being actively developed. Is it able to write into Workfront? Yes. So this is a very good question. You have to toggle it on to be able to write into your Workfront instance. It's like an admin setting, which is like for safety, right? You don't want to turn this on and overwrite things by accident. So it's a setting in your Workfront instance to turn on. And then as you do your authentication to your Workfront instance, it comes with a long list of permissions. So you as the user can say, I don't want to ever write anything into Workfront or delete or anything. I don't want to modify anything. I want to just read only. So you can set it up for that. And you can also set it up to ask permission before it writes anything. So you do want to write, but maybe you just want to check to see what it's going to do and then give it a yes or a no. You can set it up to do that as well. Stakeholder applications. I'll be just like, I work with clients. I've seen a lot of ideas, and I think most people are just getting started with how to do things like this. And that's why I wanted to hear from everyone here. I think a lot of people are still on the very beginning of this journey, including myself, right? So it's to even get to the point where we're using this day to day. I am definitely using AI every single day, constantly. With Workfront, I'm just starting to get into it a little bit. This MCP definitely helps. I think stakeholder applications will discover themselves in the next 6 months. And I think with the stuff on Adobe's roadmap as well, they're really seeing where this could be used and how it can be used. Go look at some of those videos for that next generation, like the CX, Adobe CX, with how they see this going in the next 6 months. I think that's it. Once it's turned on, can you restrict the usage? I think that's a good question. I think it's open to every user, but I'd have to check that. I'm not sure if it's open to everyone. I'm always a system admin, so sometimes I get blind to the average experience. So yeah, I'd have to check. I don't know. Sorry.
I also wanted to share for others, because we're also learning. What's super helpful is that they bucket, we're connected to Claude, and they bucket all those minuscule permissions into a read-only, which we're like, okay, great,
Yeah.
it can read everything. And then there's the write and delete, which you really want to be more granular. And we're going out the door with let's turn off delete for now. But let's ask about creating, just to kind of slow step and get people used to it. So there's the controls in Claude, and then we also have our sysadmin controls as well. And what I'm also learning is we have a AI team within our company that can control those Claude permissions for everybody else, because I was also a little worried about, I don't want my users to have the ability to decide for themselves whether they can delete or not. So just thinking about it in that way, if you have your enterprise groups managing that, there's also someone who can control who has access to it. So for all I know, there's all these other people in the background helping support us.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. That makes sense. Yeah, that's nice to have that admin permission over top of those. Yeah. anything else? Any other questions? I'd love to hear, like, if you've got stuff that comes to mind after the meeting, post it in our user group in LinkedIn. I'd love to hear how people use it, how you found it. But I think it's just, like I said, this is the beginning of, I think, a long AI journey with Workfront. And so hopefully you learned something. I try not to go too in the weeds, but yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, David, for taking the time to put that together for all of us. It was a great introduction to all of that. There's a lot of nuance around setup and things like that. So definitely everybody use the community, use Experience League to kind of get through that. But the power, I think, of what this is going to unleash is quite incredible, especially when you use an MPC server in an application like Claude. Just even this morning, coming back from a week off, normally I sit at my desk for a couple hours, read all my email, read all my Slacks, catch up on all the Workfront updates and all those notifications. I simply said, hey, Claude, I'm back from PTO, catch me up. And I turned on the Workfront connector in addition to my Gmail, my calendar, and those sorts of things. And it was pretty incredible, the document that it prepared of, like, here's the top 5 things you need to focus on today, like right now. And then here's the status of all of your projects and initiatives that you have going on. And I just think about, like, the difference in a year or even in a couple of months of how far AI has come and the power that opens up, and just being able to have the context of everything that's in Workfront now available in addition to all of the other platforms that we're able to connect into these applications. So it's a new world. We're all navigating it. There's a lot of issues, and things that we should continue to discuss around governance and making sure the system is agentic ready, and being very mindful, as Chris was talking about, permissions and policies and things like that. I think all companies are now navigating those topics. So it's definitely a conversation we'll always continue, and one that we've talked about as co-leaders, of just having it as a standing topic item, or at least a standing item for us to discuss as a group every month. Just kind of an AI corner of what's happening right now. How are people using it? What are some of the watch outs and things that we're all kind of running into? So great conversation today, David. Cool. We only have 10 minutes left, so we will try to dive into a couple of the questions that were submitted here. Again, we had 34 submitted, so thank you guys. I will toggle through these. If anybody sees their questions or just wants to step into the conversation, it doesn't have to be about AI. It can be about anything. There's still 22 of us on this call, so you have 22 brains that we can put together and help solve any problems or have a discussion around any of these things. So open the floor up right now for everybody. Or if there's a question that you see that you might want to answer, jump into that as well.
I'll talk again if you don't mind. Yes, I'm really excited. I mean, it got turned on, and I'm just so excited by the potential, because I've been trying to clean up our system. So definitely the governance is one of those pieces to try to find things that are hidden away, squirreled away, or not used. But we're also looking at how we can use it to create things faster. So like with the templates, I want to be able to tell Claude, hey, I'm working on this type of project. Set me up a project using a template that suits my need. So because of this, we're going through a template audit and updating descriptions. We're going to look at tasks after that and make everything AI read ready to help us.
Because everything now in the system is context. So when you have a task description or a template description or a group description, a team description, any of the object descriptions, AI is reading that as context. Mm-hmm.
And I already kind of started on government. So after Summit and Sky's conversation about the 5 pillars that you need to look at, like we've been updating, custom forms for those key objects, like like you were saying, the job descriptions, groups, teams, and adding those in. So this all comes in at a great time.
And if anybody didn't get a chance to see that, we'll make sure that there's a link to that summit presentation in the follow-up on Experience League. It was a great
us, like before we're rolling it out to our team, we're trying to find those use cases. So we don't just say, here's this thing, and then go figure it out. So we're trying to find those use cases like the PTO, like you're saying, and the daily, when you start your work and Monday morning and check in, ask your AI, what do I need to focus on this week? And it's checking our main sources, which is Outlook, Slack, and Workfront now, to pull together your list of priorities and checklists. But it can create tasks too. So I've been playing with that. Had a template set up with some key like parent tasks, and then I had an Excel sheet. And since we have that connected with 365 as well, have this Excel sheet. It's reading my Excel with the tasks and maybe descriptions that was generated, and then it inserted and created tasks. So it's really good with those project issue tasks. Objects. It can't do notes yet, which is too bad, because I would like a little kind of receipt of it saying, hey, I did this for you, comment.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do that quite just yet. I'm sure there'll be more.
Yeah. It's interesting because if you attach a note taker to the Claude as a connector, like capturing client presentations or client meetings and stuff, it can also come back and say, hey, here's the 3 tasks that you might want to consider adding to a project, and you can simply type yes, and it might add it back.
Well, the use case I was hoping for is with Slack, because so many of our teams still use Slack for conversation, is I wanted it to crawl Slack for conversations about open projects and just put in an update.
I love that, because we all know that we've just kind of let that go, that informal communication still happens on Slack, but guess what? Now they're connected.
Mm-hmm.
Have the power of getting that context back together.
Yeah.
So, one more one.
Thank you guys for the timely convo.
Absolutely. Again, we will be keeping a library of all of these. So as we think about future topics or future guest speakers and those sorts of things, we'll keep a catalog of all of these. With the time left, I do want to finish our last few slides here and announce that we have just posted our in-person meetup, which will happen Tuesday, August 18th, same time as the one in March, from 4:30 to 6:30. That seemed to resonate well with everybody, especially on a Tuesday. This time we are going to be hosted by TELUS Digital here in downtown Columbus. So if you are near us in the region, somewhere in the state and adjacent states, we'd love for you to join us. The information is on the registration page, and you will receive a follow-up email a couple of days before the event. But we've tried to include all the information there with the address, the parking garage. They will be validating tickets for parking, and the building details of how to get in. TELUS is just renovating one of their offices here in Columbus. We were going to do the rooftop, but August 18th in Ohio, it's hit or miss for weather or for heat. So we're just going to enjoy the nice air conditioning time together. We'll have finger foods and drinks, and no real formal presentation, but just a great conversation like together as we had in March. So if you're able to come, please register for that. Just so you know, Adobe is making some changes to the event management platform that we use. And so from July 24th to early August, I do use air quotes intentionally there. We do not have an end date. Everything will be read only. So if you think you might come, please register before July 24th. Like even today would be a great time to register if you think you can come, just so we can get an idea of how many people might be able to join us. And we'll be sending reminders to our groups and on LinkedIn and Facebook and everything as well. Between meetings, we're still here. Just a reminder that we do have a private LinkedIn group. Again, we're going to take some of the topics from today that we weren't able to get to and start conversations in that group as well. Upcoming events, again, these are all linked from our Workfront events page and our Workfront user groups event page. So 2 sources there. There are links to those. Here's the things that are coming up in the next month. So if you're in the West Coast, Seattle, they're kicking off their user group here in about a week. And then some really good conversation on the 23rd, a champion chat. So things that changed things we changed our minds about within Workfront. So I'm sure that will be a great engaging conversation. And you'll see some of the other ones down here as well. Do want to highlight that the skill exchange for Workfront will be happening on August 5th and 6th. So there's a registration link to that. I believe that was just recently published and posted. So it's a great opportunity. There are lots of different sessions to help you level up your skills. So I think a few people, Workfront is the 5th. Thank you, Monique. Would be some great conversations there. And then again, just to highlight that Workfront job board, if you're looking for people or if you're looking, it's a great resource for everybody there. With that, that concludes our meeting, unless Nuria or Denver have anything else to add.
No, thank you for being here and spending your lunch with us. And for those of you that are, in the state of Ohio or close by, think about joining us in person. So,
yeah.
Ditto that. It's nice to see everyone.
Awesome. Thank you again, David. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody. Nice seeing you. Bye-bye.
Bye.